NAT and port forwarding, yeah, this is what we can talk about as well. Um, about NAT and port forwarding, so I'll just try to get the information. I also have logged into my router, and that's a stunt I normally don't do. But here I can try to check the port forwarding features, and we'll try to explain how you can do it at your home. Port forwarding. I have a Bell router, so DSL router. You may have Rogers, you may have any other. You just need to have access to the login of the router, and you can see the IP here, 192.168.2.1. So, but what is port forwarding? What are we talking about? Why are we talking about this router, DSL router here? Those two topics are the ones and left, and then we can also next we can have a small exam review, few questions there, and okay. So I just needed to open the NAT capabilities. So first of all, what is NAT? And there are many articles. Now, guys, since you are now online, so first thing I wanted to share with you was the exam news, and you're supposed to give the exam, right? So the exam news is this. Maybe we have talked about that before, but and maybe not. I don't think so. We talked about it. So this is the exam page 70-741, and the exam cost is $165 US. But it says here this exam retires on June 30th, 2020, right? So you got March, 11 days of March, and then 30 days of April, and 30 days of June, right? So 2 months and 10 days you have to actually not only pass this exam. The other exam is 70-742, and obviously the 740, to have the full MCSA there. So 742 is also retiring. Yeah, so retirement news is there for June 30. So what I was and after that, their plan is really strange, and that is they're going totally cloud now. MCSA is a requirement in the market. If you go for jobs, not okay. Viewer 4 is saying all exam centers. If you could kindly put your name there. I don't know who's talking, but anyway, some student is talking right now. Here, all exam centers are closed. Wow. No, they'll be closed, I think, for April 4 and till April 4. Or, guys, you can also ask that can the exam be taken remotely, right, from home? They do take the exams from home. Maybe you have asked them, hey, can the exam be taken at home? So in that case, try to take it at home. But the thing is that the next exams. So this is 70-741, and if you go further down here, so there's that learning community here. So first of all, I'll just put that link, and what I'm trying to say here is that give the exam as soon as possible if you can. The new files will be the exam dump, or we can say test files can be arranged for you. Talk to Mary or email Mary, or let me know separately. Email me and I'll get it from Mary. So the thing is that you have to give the exam as soon as possible. Now, what's the plan? Next plan? What is Microsoft really going towards? and that's very interesting. That's where I was pushing you guys all along. So when you click this link, so I put that page here, and on that page you have this link here, learning community, or what is coming next. So when we go to the next one, Microsoft has okay, that's not the page, but the actual page that it takes you to is this, that MCSA, MCSD, MCSE certifications retire with continued investment to role-based certifications. So uh, they are all retiring June 30, as we know, MCSA and MCSE. So majority of the planet Earth will be giving these exams before June to get those credentials on the resume. So this is the next page, but I'm just gonna put it in the chat as well here. So you can just click that too in the chat of join.me. And they're saying that the next ones, recommended path to Microsoft role-based certification options. So if you currently hold MCSA, MCSE certification, why not update your profile with one of our new role-based certifications that may be relevant to you? Check out our recommended role-based certifications. So what is recommended is, if I click that path here, so that's very strange that there is no Windows Server 2019 here as I check it, or it's part of the certification. But you can see Azure all out now. So Azure Administrator Associate, Azure Solutions Architect, and Azure Security Engineer. Now this is MCSE core infrastructure, right? So this is MCSE core infrastructure. And MCSE productivity is Exchange. This has always been Teams and Office 365. That's another critical course that is you're supposed to do Office 365, right? And MCSE data management and analytics. This is just if you want to go for data scientist related jobs in Azure, because there are so many jobs in Azure now. MCSD app builder, start your Azure developer journey with the following: Azure Developer Associate, MCSE business application, start your Dynamics. So this is Dynamics is like SAP, or yeah, it's a business application. But your new path, so your older exam is finishing or retiring at June 30th. You have 2 months and 10 days. So this means that, well, many students have pulled it off and did all three certifications within 2 to 3 months. But any one or two certifications would also be good for you as per the resume, because all the companies have Windows Server 2012, Windows 2016, Windows even 2019. So all the companies, data centers do have these Windows servers. If you go for jobs, MCSA is still the requirement, right? And it will remain there for at least 1 or 2 years more. So currently, if you're, it's not currently, 2 years is a long time, right? So, and they're going cloud so aggressively now that they're not continuing with the Windows certifications anymore. They're going for totally cloud certifications: Azure Administrator Associate, Azure Solutions Architect Expert, Azure Security Engineer. Seriously, these are the three certifications I have been telling all along. AZ 103, AZ 300 is this, AZ 500 is this for all the students. So only one or two students have broke that record and did all three certifications of Azure. That's the path that you have to take ASAP after completing the MCSA exams, or if you want to go for one or two exams of MCSA and then go straight to, so one or two exams would also tell the companies that you're going to give interview to that you know the local data center environment, right? You know that environment, and then yes, you know all cloud related environment as well. So that would be, so your MCSE after June 30. So they're saying that these exams can be taken. So June 30, you won't be able to give the exam after that. Uh, like no, actually, you won't be able to schedule the exam after that. But still, your exam will be available there. MCSA exam that you pass will be available there for 2 years. on Microsoft, right? So on Microsoft website. So anyway, the thing is that you should know that June 30 is the deadline. Give the exam before that. Whenever the exam centers open, try to ask the exam centers if the exam can be taken remotely. Hey, exam centers, when I went to on Saturday to, oh yeah, these are the new measures. Okay, I understand that. But on Saturday there was one or two guys who was giving exam in Net Plus. There were one or two guys who were giving exams on Net Plus. Uh, so yeah, exam centers was open, but yeah, the new measures, not measurements, new measures taken. Maybe they're closed. So just contact Net Plus. I think the college line is now available and open. So because they have moved to the new campus is really cool. Okay, guys. So this is what I was saying, that go for Azure. I was pushing from the start of the course, Azure, 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 Azure. So the news is, yes, that June 30, after June 30, it is only Azure for you, right? So my suggestion is go for Azure and AWS two-in-one course on Saturday mornings. And this Saturday morning, actually, Azure two-in-one is starting now, new one, and obviously it's all online. Uh, but if this is a very good opportunity for you to jump into the cloud courses, which are really in demand right now. The more latest courses you're doing, the better your job chances are, if you understand exactly what you're doing, right, and you know how to do it. So anyway, this is just a rundown into reality check. We can say that June 30th. Before that, do give at least one or two exams of MCSA. If you can give all three, that would be great, because you should be putting in your resume MCSA, but MCP for one exam, MCP for second exam, MCP title will still be there for you. So give at least one or two exams, so you should tell the companies that yes, you know the data center based servers as well. Okay, and then it's all cloud. After that, it's all cloud. So these two I cover, MCSE productivity and MCSE core infrastructure. So these two are Microsoft 365 and core infrastructure, right? So anyway, if that has been clear, so I'm just going to, so 7:42 class I will tell on Sunday morning the same thing, and then let's go ahead. If there are any questions, let me know, but try to give that exam as SAP if you can, and try to check if their exam centers are open. I think they are. It's just that they might be taking exam remotely. So, and just try to check other data center, or not data center, exam centers as well, other than NetPlus, if suppose NetPlus is not available. Okay, so what we were trying to say was NAT and port forwarding. So about NAT, normally, network address translation. So about NAT, normally I just go ahead and not much discussions there, because Windows NAT is not being used much, or maybe if you're in Nunavut or in remote mountains, maybe even then, where would you put the servers on? Which rock with a snow covered rock you would put the. Okay, anyway, just kidding. So how many devices? So first of all, NAT is all about that you can simply suppose you have a lot of so suppose this is the branch, and pretty much NAT we're using every day, but as a Windows as a NAT server, normally you have a DSL router that is giving you NAT, right? So NAT is network address translation. And maybe you've talked about it in CCNA as well. But what does it do? In simple words, it translates the public IP traffic into private IP traffic, right? Which means, so suppose the scenario is that you have here 10,000 machines, right? And those are Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows 8 machines. Now these are client machines, and the client machines they all need to be given internet, right? So client machines need internet. So what you can do is there are two ways to provide internet, and the first way would be give all these machines public IP. So give all these machines public IP, which is what public IP would be. The public IP uh, connects us to internet. We can so connects to the internet. We can purchase public IP, maybe $10 per month, or $5 per month, or $15 or $20 per month. Purchase, maybe $10. When I ask that for my home, that I need my static public IP to be static. Don't change that, because some inbound traffic is coming to my home servers. So they said, one ISP said $5 per month, and the other IP said $10 per month. So we can purchase, and I had to change IPs. I had to ask for, I need to change ISP. Sorry, one ISP said $5 per month, or other ISP or internet service provider said $10 per month. And so I had to call many ISPs, and whichever was offering public IP, static public IP to homes or residences, I switched to that ISP, and then because I was installing a Exchange server at home, and I wanted the whole planet to connect to my email server. So we can purchase public IP $10 per month, suppose. Depends which ISP you're talking to. So this is, but this if 10,000 machines need that IP, need internet connection. So the first solution would be, we can give 10,000 machines. So we can purchase 10,000 public IPs for 10,000 machines, right? 10K machines. So just affording an internet for all the machines would be a pain in the neck. So that's why then the protocol Nat came. So Nat just need one public IP to provide internet to all the private IP based machines. So if you have a device that has NAT protocol enabled, network address translation, and private IPs normally cannot connect to internet. So if I just add that, private IP based machines are not accessible to slash from internet, right? So private IPs, when you give, you cannot connect to internet, obviously. So public IP to provide internet to all the private IP based machines, right? So that's the main thing here. You just need to purchase one public IP, and that's all you need. And a NAT protocol. So what we need is one public IP and one device that has NAT protocol configured. So that's how you would then get NAT. So obviously in our companies, in big companies, you have routers that has NAT already configured inside, or we configure within the router NAT, or you get a DSL router, right? So if we go for like DSL router, so DSL router, yeah. So it would be then DSL router with these three horns here, and so there will be a NAT protocol here. At your home also you may have that, just this type of router or any other. So NAT, so public IP. So you're connected to ISP, right? And internet service provider, maybe Rogers, maybe Bell, and then ISP has provided to you one DSL device and one public IP. Anyone knows how to know what is your public IP that ISP has given you? Oh, so anyone knows how to know what is your public IP? Anyone knows how to know what is your public IP? Hey, look away from CP24. Come on, I'm asking something. Okay, so yes, that's a very good answer. Actually, nobody answered. Looks like okay. So how to know the public IP is of your internet router? What is my IP? So you can just type this, and my public IP is this. So suppose I am just putting it. So ISP provides you the router. Actually, I want to see CP24 as well. These are the times where we need to be connected to news what's going on next. So one public IP is given, and one DSL router is given, and there's a NAT protocol that is working, right? So that NAT protocol, because of that, now within the DSL router you have a DHCP. So that DHCP has a range of, suppose, 192.168.1.0 up to 192.168.1.254, right? So that DHCP provides IPs to all the machines, right? So machines, suppose your internet is down, still the IP will be provided to all the machines from within this range, right? At your home, in your companies, this is the way it is working. So that DHCP is also living inside the DSL router, and that NAT is also living inside the DSL router, right? So now ISP is providing you internet with the help of this public IP, and then it goes to the NAT protocol, and NAT protocol translates it from one public IP to hundreds or thousands of private IPs with the help of DHCP. So DHCP helps to send. DHCP just gives IP addresses, so whichever machines have private IP addresses which are not accessible from internet. So the NAT just provides that IP information. Oh, the NAT just provides internet connection, right? So that's how NAT really works. That the internet connection, internet is provided by public IP, NAT, and private IP, right? So internet is provided by public IP, and then NAT protocol, and then private IP. So that's the whole story about NAT here. But then what is that Windows Server 2016 NAT doing inside? So anyone planning to do the exam 70-740, 741, 742 in next 2 months or in near future? Anyone planning to do the exams in near future? Okay, so yeah, let's carry on. I think we are very, very, very disrupted. So what we're trying to check here is that okay, if that is the case, then there's Windows NAT here. So let me just then talk about that. Now Windows NAT capabilities are there, but then what is NAT and NAT overview? So I'll just put this one first, and that is NAT overview. So okay, so there's that Windows 10 Hyper-V allows network address translation for a virtual network. Creating a NAT network, connecting an existing virtual machine to your network, confirming that the virtual machine is connected correctly. So Windows 10 Hyper-V's enabled instructions are there. So NAT overview, NAT gives a virtual machine access to network resources using the host computer's IP address and a port through an internal Hyper-V virtual switch. So NAT is a networking mode designed to conserve IP addresses by mapping an external IP address and port to a much larger set of internal IP addresses. Basically, a NAT uses a flow table to route traffic from an external host IP address and port number to the correct internal IP address associated with an endpoint on the network. Virtual machine, computer, container. So that's what NAT is. We talked about that already. That you can just translate IP from. So it is just to the word is conserve IP addresses, and conserve IP addresses just means that it is um, saving your public IP address. You just need one public IP to actually convert to a lot of private IP addresses, right? So create an NAT virtual network. So normally what happens is that you can just go to PowerShell and you can create a NAT virtual network. And these are just some of the steps of the lab, that how do you create NAT, NAT gateway, and and then connect a virtual machine configuration example, attaching VMs and containers to a NAT network, Docker for Windows, Linux, VM containers. So the thing is that if you do not have a DSL router or your public IP is suppose Windows NAT, how would you really in what scenario you would use Windows NAT, right? So suppose you don't have a DSL router. So in fact you have a machine here. So if you have that Windows router, now what happens is this Windows 2016 machine, Windows Server 2016, and it has two NICs. So those two NICs, so NIC 1, NIC 2, NIC 1, NIC 2, and so what happens is that one NIC is connected to your internal network and the other NIC is connected to internet. So normally the NICs will be so that would be LAN NIC and that would be internet NIC, right? So if you need a Windows NAT, so what will happen is that your so from ISP, whatever, when ISP does come, suppose you don't want to use the DSL router for given by ISP to distribute internet, right? So DSL is there, and or maybe there's just a cable coming to you, right? So what happens is the ISP connects to the DSL, and DSL is actually connecting to the internet NIC here. Oops. ISP connects to the DSL, and DSL connects to the internet NIC here, and that NIC is translating on the same machine to the other NIC all the traffic, and that is connecting to switches, switch, and then it connects to the virtual machines inside. So that's how then Windows NAT can work, that you can have now these are internal VMs, right? So these are internal VMs, right? And those internal VMs are connected to so these internal VMs are connected to switch. Switch is connected to the LAN side of the WinNAT, Windows NAT, and then there is that NIC to that is connected to internet, that is from DSL or the ISP directly. A cable is connected to the NIC to. So Windows NAT can just translate by if you install the NAT there, right? So this is just something that you can use, but normally in production environment you may never see a Windows NAT being configured. But what we can do is just go for Windows NAT just to check and explore the options of Windows NAT in a Windows Server 2016 as well. That just to know where exactly it is. Then I would also show you the next thing, and that is how to configure port forwarding in a DSL router. Uh, this is my Bell DSL router, and I haven't actually gone for port forwarding configuration here, but every DSL router has port forwarding configuration. That's one of the basics of a DSL router. So I'll explain everything about that as well. So right now we're just talking about Windows NAT. That's the first diagram, and this the second diagram actually. That's the first diagram is this, that how NAT basically works, and the second diagram is that how Windows NAT works. So this is just a typical NAT here. Okay guys, so okay, college numbers are working, and you can call college, and somebody will pick up in the college. Mary is off today, but you can call college. So okay guys, now we talked about already that the MCSA exams are expiring in June 30th, and that you need to give the exam before June 30, otherwise MCSA will be expiring. And the new MCSA is this. New MCSA is this. MCSE actually core infrastructure is start your journey with any of the following: Azure Administrator Associate, Azure Solutions Architect, and Azure Security Engineer. So this is the new MCSA or E actually that you need to go for. So now this is the new reality that is that we are facing. That AZ103, it goes for this is considered as the new MCSA, right? So and learning path is this. So now this MCSA you have to new MCSA you have to do. Anyway, we were talking about that. Okay. So what we were talking about was Nat, and now what we can do is I'm gonna go with some of the some of the so some of the Windows Nat here, and so that's what NAT for physical devices and NAT for physical devices here, virtual host. So these are the two interesting diagrams that they have explained about NAT, in fact three. Host networking with WinNAT to attach VMs and containers, and then there is key limitations in WinNAT. So what are limitations in NAT? Multiple internal subnet prefixes not supported. Suppose 10 dot 1 dot 10.0.1.0 and then 10.0.2.0 is not supported. External internal prefixes must not overlap. So outside physical network you have 10.0.1.0, so you should not have in the virtual environment also 10.0.1.0. So no automatic networking configuration, so you have to configure everything manually. Cannot access externally mapped NAT endpoint IP ports directly from host. Must use the internal IP ports assigned to endpoints. So some of the limitations of Windows NAT are there. You won't see NAT being used in majority of the companies. It will be rare to use a Windows NAT. They already have NAT configured in routers, Cisco routers and DSL routers of any other company, right? So what they are, so I'm just going to put that NAT capabilities and limitation link here as well. Maybe I should put it here actually. There in the chat, it will be lost. So oh, and then this. So I just put up. Alright, guys. So while we're then talking about this, so we're kind of covered what how NAT really works. Microsoft also uses that. So normally Microsoft just says that, hey, use a physical device. You don't really need a Windows NAT. But then if you do need that, you must have that configuration exactly the way it is here. That you must have two network cards then. One coming from internet, one connected to internet, one connected to LAN. So from outside, then NAT protocol here outside, and then NAT protocol here, right? And then from it to inside network traffic, right? So now what we need to do is if that is a kind of clear, and if you have any questions, let me know. So what we can do is we can just try to explore some of the options of NAT in uh, Windows Server 2016, but not much is there in terms of a lot of configurations there. So what I can do is you can see a demo if you want to follow. You can follow along. Otherwise, so what we needed to do here, I'm just going to 54 GB. Okay. So I'll just go for one machine here, 70-741, and I'll start that 70-741 here. So what I'm going to do is explore, just install Nat within Windows Server 2016. We're not going to go for the end configuration because I'll explain that why it is not possible. We can use, so if you're inside the virtual machine here, we can already check that. Okay. I have two big environments here. Serious. Okay. Humber VM and Net Plus VMware. Never had that before. Okay. So now server one, and what we're trying to do is that I'm going to try to install Nat, right? So I'm going to go to the dashboard here, and I'm going to go to Add Roles and Features, and click Next. Role-based or feature-based installation, next. Server 1 here, next. And then what we can do is network remote access is actually this is installed, so we're good. So this is what we needed to install remote access services. So and there if I just go for that, okay, remote access, yeah, it has NAT actually. Oh, so I'm just going to check that if it lets me go ahead. Nope. So I'm just going to cancel out from here because we already have remote access here. If remote access is already there, then okay. So I'm just gonna now what we need to do is so remote access here and server one. So this remote access already is there, right? So what I can do is go to tools and go to, if you don't have it, yeah, you could just install the whole remote access, and the way I was going there. So in the tool, then I can just go for R, and that is this remote access management, and there's a routing and remote access, this one, right? So this is routing and remote access management. Server status, server 1, and here right click. Hey, why is it not giving me configure add server? Oh, but server 1 is added. Refresh. Okay, so it's kind of shell menu and click configure action. No, it's not. I'll just okay, you know what, I have to uninstall and reinstall, so I'll just quickly do that. Manage remove roles and features and remote access server. Process of the server from which you want to remove features. Selected features cannot be removed from select server. Click OK to select different features. Directories is configured. Oh, okay. So it says that first, remove direct access. Then, so I wanted to show you the remote NAT options there. but there is direct access already configured, which can be actually removed as well. Remote access, right click, I'll just go for remote access management here. We should start the 742 course right away. Like immediately. So direct access here, this one. And I just wanted to check if there's a remove options, remove configuration settings. Okay, there's a remove configuration settings for direct access. And all remote access settings will be removed from the server. Yeah, whatever. So the whole configuration for me in the direct access VPN is removed. So now I should be able to remove that role, hopefully. So I'll go to remove, manage and removal, click next, and remote access. So yes, now I can remove it. So direct access was configured, that's why we could not remove it. Now it is being removed. Yes, and remove. And man, we really need exercise machines at home. If we are to stuck at home, we are to be stuck at home, we need exercise. So it's getting it uninstalled, then I have to restart and then reinstall again, right? Wow, it's taking forever. Okay. Okay, so it really uninstalled. It's insisting that I should download all these update, Defender, removal, malicious software removal, stack update for Windows servicing stack, cumulative update. Anyway, so I'm just going to that RAS is removed. It was not letting me configure anything, so I just wanted to check or go for all exploration of all the NAT features there within the Windows. So I'm just going to click Add Roles and Features and go next, 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 and select that remote access here. Next and next and next, and then I'm gonna go again for this add features and next and restart. So it is done, and open the getting started or not. I'll click close and go to tools here and routing and remote access services. So now it is available. So configure and enable routing and remote access, and then next. So yeah, there's that NAT setting here. So routing and remote access, and then there's server, and then there's NAT. And allow internal clients to connect to the internet using one public IP address, right? So that's NAT here, and yeah, that's where the NAT option is. If I click next, create a new demand dial interface to the internet. Create a new demand dial interface. To the internet. A demand dial interface is activated when a client uses the internet. Select this option if this server connects with a modem or by using the point-to-point protocol over Ethernet. So now it did not detect my network interface here. So create a new demand dial interface to the internet, and that is a demand dial interface is activated when a client uses the internet. So select this option if this server connects with a modem or by using the point-to-point protocol over Ethernet. The demand dial interface wizard will start at the end of this wizard. So demand dial interface is activated when a client uses the internet. So it just says that if you want demand dial interface to be connected, then just use that point-to-point running protocol over Ethernet PPOE point-to-point protocol over Ethernet. So let's click next. This cannot continue because no network connections were detected on the server, but shut down this computer and install a network adapter and then run this wizard. So the main thing is that it did not detect the network interface card, which is crucial for its connection. So I'll check it out. I'm just going to cancel that, and I have a network internet. How many network adapters I have? Okay, Ethernet 0 is there. I'll just add one more network card here, and then click add network adapter, finish. So there's that network adapter. So it's already so one network adapter that is on NAT, I'm gonna put it to 15, and one network adapter that is on other is on NAT. So this is connected to internet, right? So I hope this internet connected network adapter is detected by the NAT configuration. So I'm just going to press OK here. So there are two network cards here. I'm just going to try to turn off the firewall here. Yes, it is. Turn off. And I'll close this NAT again and open it. Routing and remote access. And then there's configure and enable routing and remote access here. And then I'll go for NAT. So there's that NAT here, network address translation, and either you can have VPN and NAT here as well, but let's check if it detects our IP addresses or network cards. Yes, it does detect our network cards. So now the second one is NAT. In fact, the best configuration, I'm going to click cancel here. The best configuration would be that if we connect, if we give them a name, right? Proper name there. So I'll go here and Ethernet. Oh, there was Ethernet 1 actually. That's strange. It was not showing up there. So I'm just going to rename them. So this is LAN. And this is NAT or WAN, we can say. Oops, did I click properties? So this is our adapter is dedicated for NAT. Refresh. Strange. So I'm going to go to remote access again. Right click here, remote access management. Oops, not this one. I'll go for the tools and then routing and remote access. And right click here, configure and enable routing, and next. So there's that NAT. I'm just configuring third time now, and next. Wow, I see three network cards here, but one of them is actually so this is NAT. So I'll just try to select NAT network card here. So although this is okay. So well, first is use this public interface to connect to the internet, right? So we're going for public interface to which we are connecting, and next Then it says you can select the network that will have a shared internet access. Select the interface for the network that will have a access to the internet again. So first it was asking before that which network card uses public interface to connect to the internet. So this is the same NAT. Now within the virtual environment, this is what we cannot do. But still, when it asks for now that use the network card, if your network has both a NAT server and a multiple private interfaces, you should configure DHCP on all private segments. So anyway, this is asking for a NAT and I'm giving it NAT. And then completing the routing and remote access server setup wizard. You have successfully completed the routing and remote access server setup wizard. And let's click finito. There's a blue donut there. Where it's still configuring. Okay. Now routing and remote access is configured on this server, and then this server has already been configured using the routing and remote access server services, and pretty much this server will become a NAT server as well. If any client is connected to this machine, it should start providing internet connection with a private IP address. If any client connects to this server with a client IP address, so it should. So now if you go for network interfaces, so one is the NAT interface here, and one is the other one. So now it has to have a DHCP service, or it has to be connected to a DHCP service with the same IP range here. So the NAT IP, this is coming from outside, and then there are static routes here. But the thing is that as far as the NAT configuration is concerned, this is how it is configured. So if I go to server 1 here and right click and go to properties, so local area network routing only, and IPv6, and then there's security. So they didn't put much for NAT. So right now IPv4 dynamic host configuration protocol, so it is actually configured with this server can assign IPv4 addresses by using DHCP. So it can use the DHCP that is already inside your environment, and that DHCP can actually provide internet connection. So I'm going to check that also, that if it can do that. So I think we did create a Windows 10 here. Yeah, we have a Windows 10 machine here. Okay, so I'm on Windows 10 now, and what I am trying to do here is to expect an IP given by DHCP from server 1, and that IP with the help of NAT should get internet connection. But this should and would be a lot of assumptions, so that's why we're checking here. So I'm trying to add a network card here because it doesn't seem to have any network interface card here, this one. Hey, is there a speech going on CP24 or something? Okay, 16 GB RAM and 2 GB. I'll give it 2 GB here if it accepts. What's going on here? Okay, I'll just give it again. I think too much RAM has been given to this machine, so it's acting slow. How? It's not changing RAM. Serious? Oh, seriously? What's wrong with me? If the machine is started, how can we change the RAM? So I'm just gonna shut it down. So it's just very slow for me right now. Yeah, actually, Rusbe, I was during this. I asked three questions. Three times I asked a question, nobody answered. So this told me that okay, so everyone's on some kind of news channel or some kind of website asking, seeing that how to stay away from CP or from not CP24, from COVID-19 and some other thrilling news, right? So yeah, too much CP24. So I'm just going now at my own pace because I don't think everyone's paying attention. So it's yeah, everyone's on. It's very thrilling times, and hopefully everyone's okay. And yes, I understand that this is very very disruptive. I would suggest go for 742. Start 742 right away. But yeah, and well, I'm trying to just go for Nat here right now. So yeah, okay. Charles is saying he's seeing this. I am, but the video clip out sometime. Oh, okay. Yeah, the internet is also affected because everyone's sitting home. Yeah, exactly. So we are doing saying we are paying attention, just family, loud neighbors, and other distractions. Okay. So loud neighbors are also there. That's yes. Since everyone's at home, so this is very distracting. I understand that definitely. And all other big colleges also have told me to do it online. Hmm. Oh. Well, there's a package from government that is, uh, I think they will start giving extra. Oh, let me share that. Uh, that how much we can just talk to the government or different institutes here to actually. Why did I not share that? Um. So what I shared just now is well, they're saying that what they did, the Canadian government. So you can follow this. I think child tax benefit is increased $300 more per child, and try to check whatever applies, and try to get relief from the government. It's on the WhatsApp now. I just shared. So that's what they're saying. So try to contact, right, and see what how they can help. Uh, okay. So, hey guys, here, what I'm trying to check is if I get a DHCP IP from server 1's DHCP, so does the NAT really provide the internet? So, but for that, it should get internet itself first, and there's that. Yeah, we have internet access now. Instead of Trump, it's the bad news of COVID-19 here. I used to say if it is Trump, this means we have internet connection. So now, hopefully, everyone is okay. If it's, yeah, I should not even say that. So, so Windows 10 and so server 1 is having internet. It has a DHCP, working DHCP, but I'm just going to check if the DHCP actually is working, and I'm going to go down to the network adapters. And I'm going to go to LAN and go for properties here. And I'll stop the firewalls. But yeah, fingers crossed, normally it doesn't work that way. So Rafi, I hope you're applying for jobs, but do separately email me and I can try to, help you out with some courses and resume. Okay, so there's that Windows 10, and I'm just trying to check if what IP. So I did get IP from my local DHCP here, and if I go back to server 1, so so the NAT there is or was saying refresh. So IPv4 and this is DHCP. So the DHCP of our local DHCP, it is connected to and will be using to provide NAT. That's what it's supposed to do. But it is so what we can do is just wait for it to be configured, or we can leave it as is. But if you go to Windows 10 here, I did get an IP from DHCP here, which is coming here, and NAT is supposed to be providing internet to the machine that got the IP from DHCP locally. So right now I don't think there's internet here. So can't reach this page. So well, the thing is that yeah, it may or give internet now, or it may give internet later. So server 1 is supposed to be providing internet or NAT. Maybe we could put that in the browser as well. Normally we used to do that way back with the browser. If the browser lets me just put that IP there as well in as a proxy. But wow, there's no setting here. Oh, there is a setting there. Import from another browser. I don't have any. And account settings, device settings, view advanced. So now the browser should also know that, oh, I'm getting internet from here, from another device, from the NAT. So open proxy settings. Normally the proxy settings do work. It's totally fingers crossed here. Use script. Normally there's a script there, or there's just an IP address. So I'm not using script here. I can go for IP address here. Suppose it's 192.168.200.1 and 80. We're just telling it's kind of something that so I'm just gonna click save here, and normally we tell the browser, we have to tell manually the browser that, hey browser, you have an internet connection, or internet connection can be expected from this place. I don't know if it is even saving it. So close and open the browser again. In its proxy, it is given the IP of 192.168. But normally we do that when there's a proxy server itself, not NAT. So this was just a wild shot that the NAT was supposed to grab internet connection from server 1's internet and provide it through the DHCP to Windows 10, right? So, but normally you would see in 99.9999999 cases that they are using the DSL router. They're not using Windows NAT. This is like you don't have a DSL router and the internet connection is coming to your very remote island office, and there it is connected to your small. Okay, so yeah, at home here, right? So distraction. Yeah. So while I'm talking about this, I'm also answering my son, and in the sign language, like this. Okay. Anyway, so guys, what we try to do here, and it's good to know that you were actually trying to see what was going on. Because at 3 occasions I did ask questions and nobody answered, so I knew that okay, it's distraction at its peak right now, and I understand that these are not the very favorable times. But if we want to, it's securing a job nowadays. Now, so many of my students are still doing more certifications with who are in the job. So the job market has not affected that bad. Although I understand that IT related jobs are not affected, but small companies might be. I don't know if they don't get business. Obviously, they cannot afford to give people salaries. But there will be jobs coming still, even in these times. And my suggestion is, yeah, try to understand what's going on. And if you are not planning to give the exam soon, still in your resume, try to put all those. You can say pursuing MCSA exam. Just put the exam name pursuing MCSA 2016 instead of not writing anything in the resume. And then also, now I would really push you towards Azure, because that's the future, and that's already in the market, and they would need Azure related, you know, uh, skills in you. If you have Azure related skills, you have better chances in the market to survive. So this is just NAT related settings for Windows, and testing. I was just showing you the settings of NAT within the Windows 2016, and that there was not much. With the fingers crossed, definitely with the big fingers crossed. When I was showing you those NAT settings, I had to do that today. Otherwise, this is the first time I never had to do the NAT lab, because it was not. Even Microsoft doesn't take it seriously. um, so like everyone knows that Cisco router NAT, Cisco based NAT, or any other router based NAT or DSL router based NAT is used. Windows is not used. But obviously it's a topic in the exam, so that's why we talked about that. So if there are any questions for any remote reason, are we doing Azure anytime? So Cheryl is saying on WhatsApp, are we doing Azure anytime? So guys, the Azure class this Saturday morning is starting online. Obviously, all NetPlus classes are starting online. So Azure and AWS, it's a two-in-one course. So because both are very critical, Azure and AWS online class this Saturday from 10 to 2 starting. Many students are attending that. So, and it's online from home. So please do join the class there. And this is very critical now. Both Azure and AWS are very critical to know in today's job market. And still, more online we are going. This is even in these times, being online now is even more important than before, right? So all the companies would be sitting and asking their employees to connect to cloud at home. That is one thing. And second thing is Office 365 Administrator. Normally I teach that 4-in-1 course where I cover actually 4 different courses in one course. Office is 5, so, and 2 core, and 2 out of 5 optional courses are covered. So in the course, so normally now these two are really critical. These skills are critical to understand and put in the resume as well. Now, with your knowledge of MCSA, that would be a very big plus for you. That at least one exam of MCSA, if you give minimum one exam, that is very important. And then go for everything cloud. And because your background will be, oh yeah, I know the Windows Server 2016, 2012, how it is installed, because 99% of the companies still have Windows Server 2016, 2012 in their data centers. So they would really want you to still know about it. Expiring certification in June doesn't change the market. It simply is their Microsoft's way of pushing you towards cloud now. But all the companies haven't gone total 100% to cloud. They still have hybrid environment, so they have local data center and cloud, right? So, but they more and more companies are asking for, hey, do you know Azure? Do you know local data center plus Azure? Do you know VMware? So these skills are needed. So I would recommend that whenever you can, do try to join for those skills, right? Okay, so yeah, this is Saturday, AWS and Azure is starting, and my recommendation would be to definitely come to this class and join it online from home. But obviously, Net Plus management has to be contacted for that, that you want to join as well. So tell Ravi that you want to join. So Ravi or Mary, you just inform them as well. And okay, so we were talking about Nat here. If there are any questions, let me know. But after June, it's totally this guy. After June, it's totally this guy in terms of certifications. But in terms of ground reality, you still have local companies with those data centers with 2016 Windows Server, 2019 and 2012. For at least coming 2 years, it will still be there, and you need to have a job now, right? Or upgrade the job now. So doing this certification would be a huge plus before the June 30 expiration, right? So I'll just put that message here as well. Do MCSA 2016 before June 30 expiration date. Oh, it's 20? Okay, 30. Or at least 1 or 2 exams of it. Or at least 1 or 2 exams of it, right? So I'll go for, there's another, wow. Yeah, so there's a wow. Okay, that's a good comment. Wow from Cheryl. Okay, so thank you for wowing. And so here, so guys, these are some of the strategies that for in these times, I'm here to help you, and I would do whatever possible within the limits of NetWest College allowing me to do. But I'm here to help, and for any exam related information, any resume related information, any job. Maybe I hope you're added in my job forum, because I'm forwarding jobs there. Some of the jobs are coming from my close contacts or friends. Sometimes internal information comes that, hey, we need someone right now, so I forward that too. And some students have been getting jobs. So the job market may be, stressful as well, but there are jobs in IT, and especially with latest courses and latest skills. Yes, there are jobs. They actually need more. Amazon AWS is it needs to hire still 100,000 more people. Actually, thousand or 100,000, I forgot the was there. So Amazon still need 100,000 more people. Now, is it just the cloud portion of the Amazon, or is it the Amazon delivery guys, or their factory related stuff? So I don't know about that, but AWS and Azure, so AWS and Azure both are really important, and I'm here to help. Just let me know how you're doing, right? Okay, so okay, guys. Now let's go ahead, and now we were talking about NAT and port forwarding and setting up NAT, and then exploring the features of NAT and Windows as well. And my then suggestion is I'm just gonna go for port forwarding now, and port forwarding is going to be I will try to actually do that in my router, and maybe you have access to your router. I have access. I just tried to go for my router IP addresses. This is I'm not supposed to do that on my router, at least, but I'm not gonna disrupt anything, because then all my kids will come smashing my door, and because I disrupted their PlayStation game and their cartoons that they're watching right now, and they would really just tear apart my whole home office. So but I cannot just yeah but I'm gonna still try to go for those configurational areas, and try to make sure that you understand how port forwarding can be configured in your DSL router. So let's take a small break and then come back, or you want to go early, then we can continue and finish early and go home. Seriously, why I'm saying go home? In fact, we're being too much at home, and that's actually not very interesting. Um, so it's more boring now. Any monotonous situation is always boring. Like, it's continuously one same situation. So, oh yeah, go offline home. Okay. So, alright, guys. So, if you need a break from the break that you already had, so okay, now, then let me know. Otherwise, we go for this. Then we can talk about some exam topics, and so, and Sundays there's 742 continuously going on. Uh, the more knowledge you have, the better your in the performance you will go for in the interview. So it's good to have as many courses. Uh, okay, so it looks like it's my call. Nobody's suggesting anything. So what we can do is we can have a 15-minute break. So let's have a break from the break we were having. No, just kidding. No, you were paying attention. Sorry. 15-minute break, and classes starts at 12:15. Right? And let's then talk about the port forwarding, and the port forwarding is a great way to let the outside traffic come into your protected network. So if we're talking about port forwarding, forwarding, so it's forwarding. So the port forwarding here, so we can let out traffic from internet. So we can let traffic from internet to be connected to our DSL router, and then it can be connected to our application inside the private VM, or laptop slash desktop that is behind our DSL router with a private IP address. Private IP address. So what is going on is that now in English, if you have suppose this is your home, and this is your company here, right? So if Z's is so this is a home and that is a company. So now port forwarding would be there. What basically happens is you have your laptop here. So I'll just grab a laptop from here. We'll take the $1,400 laptop. That would be good, right? Okay. Anyway, so that from the laptop you're trying to you want now there's a DSL router here as well, which we already had a picture of, the DSL router, and I'll quickly just get that $80 DSL. So now that DSL router is here, and then maybe you're in company, maybe you're outside on the internet, maybe you're outside in restaurant or from anywhere. Now what you want to do is that you want to connect from company or from anywhere outside, so that is internet. So this guy is supposed to be the internet. And so you're connected to from company, you connect through internet, and you want to actually access through the DSL router to this laptop, right? Now this laptop, now this is obviously you have on the router you have ISP given public IP, and that public IP obviously has to be known, and then also here what traffic is allowed to enter your home network? That is one question. What traffic is allowed to be entered at your home network? And also, um, is it going to be one way or two way? And when we talk about what traffic, so it pretty much was what protocol and what port. So what protocol and what port, right? So you have to decide all that, and then which IP address it's going to hit at your home, which private IP address based machine this inbound traffic. Inbound means traffic coming from outside to inside. Inbound traffic. So which private IP address based machine this inbound traffic will connect to, right? So will connect to. So these are some of the questions that needs answered. But what does port forwarding help you do? So anyone from outside can connect through your DSL router to a private IP based machine that is living behind your router. So yeah, right now you're connecting from those desktops to over the internet, and then you're seeing this my screen here, right? So this is outbound traffic, right? So you're connecting from your laptop to DSL router, and then to internet, and then to, suppose this company is actually my home DSL, and you can see that through on my laptop whatever's going on. But that is what we need to. So how you can connect from inside to outside? Yes, but suppose I want to connect to your DSL through your DSL. I want to connect to your laptop right now or your desktop right now. So can I do that? So if you allow the outside traffic, suppose in fact what I'm going to test it, or at least what I will show you how to configure, is that if I am outside and I want to connect to my laptop slash desktop at home, then with the help of RDP 3389 port. So can I do that? So if I'm outside and I want to connect to my laptop desktop at home with the help of RDP 3389 port, so can I do this? So you're outside somewhere and you at once want to connect to your desktop at home. You're in the college, you're in some restaurant with the Wi-Fi, you're in Starbucks, and all of a sudden you want to connect to your home machine. So can you connect? So that's what we were talking about. So can you connect or not, right? So for that we need to enable port forwarding. And the concept of port forwarding is that you allow a certain type of traffic to directly connect to your desktop or laptop, right? But how technically it works and what do you have to do? In DSL there is a firewall also, and that is a stateless firewall. There is a stateful firewall and there is a stateless firewall. So that stateless firewall, which is a basic firewall, we can say that it does not really secure much other than, okay, oh, you're the traffic that needs to be connected. Oh, port 80, okay, port 3389, yes, let me check my configuration. Oh, you're allowed, okay, go. So stateful firewall will check a lot more if some outside connection is coming to your network. Stateful firewalls are expensive. They are in companies normally purchase those stateful firewalls. Our basic firewall is just stateless firewall within our DSL router. Firewall within our DSL router. So what is the main purpose? So again, the purpose would be that how to connect from outside through the DSL router to your private IP based virtual machine. So if you want to connect now, if anyone wants to connect now to your machine, first of all, the person needs to know the public IP, right? So the public IP of your router. What is the public? And that public IP changes by ISP from time to time. So okay, yeah, see, at home, and well, one of my kids is just talking in sign language. So what is the public IP? That's what we need to know. And how do we need to know? And that is on just Google what is my IP, right? Just Google what is my IP, right? Okay. Okay, seriously, yeah, the home is a distraction, sorry. What is the public IP of, and you can just go for that. What is the public IP? What is my public IP, right? What is my public IP? So that's the first thing you need to know. And second thing is that you need to go inside the router, and that's where you need to talk to your ISP, or suppose you have a DSL router, I have a Bell DSL router, maybe you have Rogers DSL router, maybe you have some other company DSL router. So whatever router type is there, normally there's a username and password to that router, and that username password, so username password, so that username password here, and that username password normally the username is always admin. It may not be, maybe it asks you to create a username, and the password, I've changed so many ISPs, and I'm sure you must have changed so many ISPs or internet service providers as well. So normally you can just Google it, that okay, what is the router model. Suppose it's from any company. So go to your DSL router and just check your router model, and then just check that DSL router model, just put that router model, and then put the name, what is the admin password, and then your router model, right? So that would be important to understand. Well, you can just search it, and whatever the password is, you can just check that. Otherwise, just call your ISP and have a legit reason to ask for the password of your DSL router. It is yours. Well, it is provided by your ISP and you're paying for it, so they should give you the password for that, right? Should. So if you got the username password, how do you want to go to the page to configure your router? So anyone knows what is the IP that you should use? How do you know what is the IP of your router right now? Anyone knows that? That how do you know what is the IP of your DSL router at your home? And how would you know that what is the IP of the DSL router at your home? Okay, so DSL router, and what is the IP of your DSL router? Admin, username admin, password. So now Wow, my son is too much distracting me. Sorry. Here, so if you have gotten that, so what is IP? Now, how would we know what is the IP of our DSL router? So we will just go for CMD here, command prompt, and then just simply do ipconfig slash all. So when you go for ipconfig slash all, tracer first hop, tracer, okay, first hop, or ipconfig, yeah, and ipconfig slash all. So wireless, no. Ethernet, Bluetooth, no. Ethernet adapter, VMware, nope. Ethernet, VMware, nope. Wireless LAN, yeah, you know, wireless LAN, and this is it. So Ethernet adapter. So I have my DSL router IP default gateway. You know, whatever default gateway you get right now is the access IP of your router, right? Access IP of your router, right? So the default gateway here. Now this is your router's IP. In my case it is 2.1, maybe in your case it is 0.1, or maybe it is 1.254. So whatever is the gateway configured by default in your DSL router is your gateway, obviously. So now I would just copy this IP in my DSL router at home. You can just check yours and whatever your IP is. So guys. Okay, guys. Yes, Ruspe, that's what I meant. Okay, so I was not very clear. So what is the IP of our router, the private IP of our router, and what is the public IP? Public IP we can get from what is my IP, right? So you can just go outside and go to Google and get your IP, what is my IP, and it will tell you what is your public IP. So what I was asking about, how do you access the router, right? So, oh, you have the same gateway, 2.1. Oh, you have Bell, Rafi, maybe that's why. So, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, Rosebay. So it's how to access the router. So from public IP, um, well, you may access the router, but within the home network, how can you access the router? So yes, private IP of your router. That's what I meant. So okay, that's the correction here. That is the private IP I'm asking. Public IP, we already talked about that. It is from what is my IP, right? But inside the router, you can also say, and yes, the tracer to the Google, the first hop will be your public IP. So 192.168.2.1 is my IP. I'm just gonna copy that, and I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna go inside here, any of that, and then put 192.168.2.1. Enter, and it should give you this interface of your DSL router. Whatever your gateway is, just put it in your browser, and whatever your internal gateway private IP is, put it in the browser, and you should get this, well, whatever your first page of your DSL router is, right? Now well, you should know the login. I'm just gonna log out from my modem, and I had to create that DSL router IP. I'm gonna click modem login, and because when I first connected to this, it was asking, hey, you want to create a username password? So go ahead and create a username password if this is the first time, if it is asking you. Otherwise, normally in other DSL routers, it's always admin username, admin maybe already written, or even username password just blank, that is written there. And once you connect, you need to know username password. So majority of them have admin as a username, but it's better to ask or call your ISP. Hey, what's my username password for my router? I just want to check inside. I want to put some restriction for my home computer. My kids are on Roblox 24/7, 365. So I want to check how to block Roblox from within the DSL router. So for that, can you give me your my DSL router's username password? That's what you can say to your ISP, and majority of the ISPs did just give it, the username password. So, or I want to configure the security of my DSL router myself. I know what to do, and act as you know act as if you know what you're talking about. No, you know what you're talking about. I understand that. Yeah. So, but show him as well. Yes, I know what I'm talking about. It's like, give me a username password. So, majority of the time they just give it. So, to edit settings, log in as administrator, enter your administrator password. So I created all that, and I'm just trying to log in now. So look away, look somewhere else. Look, bird. Okay. So here, I'm just gonna click login. Yeah, children gaming, good reason. So definitely, I just want to stop the gaming, and so guys, here, once you're inside the router, so this is how we can get inside the router, but you need to know the IP and the gateway. When you go ipconfig/all, whatever is the gateway, you put it in the browser, and that's how you connect to your DSL router. So as we were talking about that before, as now here you have user admin and password, stateless firewall, basic firewall. Okay, so we talked about that. The public IP already is, I got that from this way. Now, what is the purpose of connecting to this port forwarding? So now, in what situation you would want to use port forwarding? Obviously, the first would be famous one would be 3389. Suppose you're in the college, and there you don't have a powerful machine, and but at home you have a powerful machine, so you can remotely connect with the opening. You have to open that port in your DSL router, port 3389, and you have to define what is the protocol, what is the port. You have to tell DSL router that port there is being used for which forward to which private IP. So what I'm talking about here is, let me just create another. So the basic thing to really configure there is that inbound slash outbound traffic. Inbound slash outbound traffic, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is the port, right? So port is 3389. Third thing is, well, if you put the port, you don't need to define a protocol. Some routers do ask for protocol as well, and some routers don't. So protocol is RDP, but normally it's just a port that you need to put there. And then which private IP? So that is the IP of your local desktop or laptop. So which private IP? This means that this machine will receive traffic. This machine will receive traffic. This machine will receive traffic of 3389 from outside, if you just define inbound, but inbound, outbound, so from inside to outside through this port you can connect, and from outside to inside, but obviously it will be inbound traffic. It will be just inbound traffic that you can configure. This is what you can. Wow. Oh, it was all. Oh, Control V actually works here in this primitive basic dinosaur age application. So that's good. So inbound traffic only we're talking about. So from outside, when you connect with port 338, so from outside what will happen is a user. So if this is the information, so I'm just going to go back to this. So from you're sitting outside, suppose this is Netflix College, and you're sitting in the desktop here. So inside you go for the command msdsc, and in run, right, run msdsc, and then After that, the remote desktop opens. Then you put public IP, right? As soon as you put public IP of your DSL router, which you can get from what is my DSL router, right? This one. And that public IP, when you connect to, so the request for 3389 port goes from here. Because you gave the public IP, it goes over the internet and it hits your public IP of the router, and inside the router is already configured with this information, right? So as soon as you hit from outside with 3389, so the router sees that, oh, okay, somebody, I received an inbound connection and this is 3389, and I am told that if there's a traffic 3389, I need to forward it to the private IP of my, suppose you have a laptop there, so of my laptop. So this means that as soon as the traffic in the back hits the DSL router, and inside the DSL router you have to configure this. Let me write that. Inside the DSL router we need to configure this, right? And so as soon as the outer connection hits the DSL router, then the router sees inbound traffic with 3389 wants to connect to this. So you have to define that if outside somebody, there's a connection request from outside coming to you, Mr. Router, and it is coming to you, so it's inbound, and it is connecting with the port 3389, then please forward that traffic to the private IP. Suppose your private IP, in fact, in my machine private IP is, now which private IP are we talking about here? The private IP of my laptop, right? So if I go inside this and change connection properties, really? Is that serious? I'm always confused with the new ones. Okay, I'll stick to the old one. So the IP of your laptop or desktop, not your virtual machine. That's what I was trying to say. So network and sharing center, go to internet and details. So my private IP that has been given to me by my DSL router is 192.168.2.251. So 2.251 is the private IP that has been given to my laptop, right? So 2.251. So I'm going to give the IP of my laptop, not my virtual machine. Suppose you have a virtual machine inside. Suppose there's a VM inside. So if that virtual machine is bridged, it will also get an IP from the DSL router. If it is not bridged, then it will get an IP from the local DHCP or from the VMware Workstation DHCP, right? So, well, okay. So if there's a router here, so there's a laptop that we already got a picture from for. Oh, serious? Okay, anyway, so this is, the actual pictures will work. Oh yeah, there it is. So if you got a laptop here, and inside the laptop, some of us have created our virtual machines inside the laptop, right? So inside the laptop, if you have a virtual machine inside, so within the VMware workstation, so this is a VM here, and there's a VMware workstation in which your machine is. So that's VMware workstation. So now in VMware workstation, you need to configure instead of VMnet 15 or NAT, you need to configure bridge. So once you configure bridge, so the VM gets IP from our DSL router directly which also means that our VM is now exposed to our physical network, just like your laptop is connected to your DSL router IP. So our VM is now exposed to our physical network, so it will get an IP from. So it will get an IP directly from our DSL router. So that's, if you want somebody from outside. So again, if I just go for DSL router here, and if you have configured everything inside your DSL router, if you have configured port forwarding basically, so what will happen is outside, wherever you are, from restaurant or hotel or anywhere, you make a connection of RDP 3389 port. It hits the router. Inside you have configured port forwarding, so any traffic from 3389, please forward it to my 3389, please forward it to my virtual machine. So you would just simply give an IP that has been given by the DHCP of the router. Router has a DHCP obviously, right? Router also has a NAT working right now. It has a lot of services being offered right now, right? So that DHCP not only would give an IP to the laptop, that DHCP will give an IP to a bridged virtual machine as well, right? So it will be a bridge virtual machine. So as soon as the traffic comes from outside, the port forwarding is told that 3389 traffic and the IP of this machine. So you would just simply, when you're configuring port forwarding, instead of giving the IP of the laptop, if you can bridge your machine and make sure that you bridge that virtual machine that does not have its own DHCP. The VM to be bridged must not already have its own DHCP. Because if you bridge that machine, so that DHCP will start distributing IP addresses to all other local machines in your network, right, at your home or in your office. So just go for that machine that has that is a member server, or that is a any other machine that does not have a DHCP. So if I want somebody to connect to my virtual machine, I would bridge that virtual machine that is just a member server, and I will give the IP of that machine. So if I go back to my environment, there's a Windows 10 I have, right? And that Windows 10 I can just right click on Windows 10 here, and then I can give that Windows 10 bridge here. In my Windows 10 I don't have a, so Rafi says static IP is needed. No. So this machine, whichever is a virtual machine, if you want to connect it outside traffic to a virtual machine, then this virtual machine should be on bridge. If you want to connect outside traffic directly to your desktop or laptop, you don't need to do what I'm doing right now. But I want my outside traffic to be connected to my virtual machine instead of my laptop. So I'm not giving the IP of my laptop, I'm going to give the IP of my machine. So if the laptop IP that was given by DSL router is not shared, so you can just share the IP of this virtual machine instead of sharing the IP of your laptop from outside, right? So okay, so bridge is there, and this is a virtual machine that I want to it to grab an IP from my DSL router, home DSL router, right? So it doesn't have a local DHCP. First thing, Windows 10, and second thing, I want to turn off the firewall of that Windows 10 as well. This one, it is off already. I now want to just confirm it if it is on bridge, did it get an IP from my DSL router? Z is 1. Okay. Yes, so if the blue bar comes, this means it has connected to some network. So I pressed yes to that. And so if I get details, yes. So 2.250 is my IP of my machine that I want to remotely connect, right? So 2.250 is the IP. Now this IP was given by my DSL router because I did not configure in my local DHCP. I configured here 192.168.200 range, right? I did not configure here 2.250 range. This is my DSL router range. So this means that my virtual machine is now, it is on the external network or my physical network of my home right now. This Windows 10 machine, right? So this means this machine is good. 2.250 is good. That I can experiment on that, the port forwarding, that I can give this machine's IP inside the port forwarding configuration. So if any traffic is coming from outside, then it should connect to this machine because I'm going to provide the IP of this machine here, right? So if I go back to the diagram here, it's up to you. You want to provide the IP for DHCP of a desktop or a laptop or a virtual machine. I choose to go for virtual machine because it got an IP from my, with the help of bridge from my DSL router. So in my case, the IP is 192.168.2.250, right? So I'm just allowing myself to connect from outside to my virtual machine directly instead of any laptop or desktop. So that's very good. If you have 10 virtual machines at home, any virtual machine, you can allow yourself to be connected, and only whatever IP you define here, DSL router will only allow the outside connection to actually connect to only this machine. But from within this machine, once you reach this machine, after that it's up to you. Do you know the IP of the rest of the machines or rest of the network? So then you can just check and connect to any other machine, and then you need to have the credentials for that machine as well. So I hope we are understanding what's going on here. It's kind of not very easy stuff, but if you really follow all the instructions and you get the idea behind port forwarding. So port forwarding is just from anywhere outside. You can connect over the internet to your DSL router. DSL router, you should define yourself. After you get the credentials of the router, go inside and define that, okay, if this traffic comes 3389, please connect it to my this particular virtual machine or this particular laptop or this particular desktop or this particular server that you have. So it will just, you will have connection from outside planet Earth anywhere into your machine if you configure port forwarding. But be careful, right? So others can also then connect. Now this is less secure. If you go for 3389, obviously this is not a secure way to connect to your machine, but this is technically you can connect, yes, as long as you don't tell anyone else that, hey, I have port forwarding configured to my this particular machine. So otherwise others can also connect. So VPN is very secure method to connect remotely. I think some advanced or newer DSL routers have VPN option also. Maybe your DSL router has a VPN option that it can receive one VPN connection. That would be very secure. And obviously RDP 3389 is not a secure way to connect. Just don't tell anyone you've configured the port forwarding Okay, so if your router actually also supports VPN, otherwise normally you can buy a very cheap VPN router as well, and through your DSL router it connects to your VPN router. VPN router makes sure that it is you who's connecting, and after some security credentials and everything, it connects your encrypted connection to your machine. So, but if you have a built-in VPN server inside your router, your router is like a WOW. Wow. Okay. Anyway, I didn't check that. Maybe the Bell DSL router also has that. But VPN is very secure method to connect remotely, and RDP339 is not secure way to connect. But you can technically connect. That's what we're talking about, right? So, if we are going to the machine, I know that it is 2.250 now, and I can further try to check what are the port forwarding settings that I need to do. So we talked about that, what port forwarding settings. So I need to check the option in my DSL router now about the port forwarding, right? So I will. So this is my. I'm logged into my Bell. I was gonna say Dell. No, it's Bell DSL router, and I need to check where is the port forwarding option. Right? There are many options here, and there are how many devices are connected? 11 devices are connected at home. Seriously, I have 11. Okay. Anyway, so maybe the virtual machines. How many virtual machines are connected which are doing nothing? So access control. Now this is very good that who can access. You can control who can access, who cannot. But this is just maybe your router shows it differently. But modem preferences is there, and then advanced tools and settings. So if I click the modem preferences for any DSL router, you would have to go for okay. So that's just the password settings, and then there is that advanced tools. I'm gonna click that, and so there is that port forwarding option there. So in your DSL router, it could be anywhere else. So you just have to go look and explore. But here the port forwarding option is there, and DNS, DHCP, Wi-Fi analyzer, MAC, WPS, modem, about DNS, WAN. So and then tool statistics, system logs. I was looking for VPN, but no, it's not there. They don't give it free, right? So I'm just gonna click port forwarding here, this one. So it says that create a new rule. So who do you want to give access? What is the protocol? Is it inbound or outbound? So I'm going to click create a new rule here, and rule name is just 3389 access, and protocol. So what protocol is there? TCP or UDP? So yeah, transmission control protocol. Three-way handshake, and handshake is a very sensitive word nowadays. So three-way handshake is more secure. We are all on UDP mode right now. Okay, internal port, external port. So we can just go for actually 3389 as internal port, and external port is also 3389. Local IP address. So okay, if this traffic is coming, then what local IP address you want it to connect, right? So it actually detects all the machine, because all the machines are getting IP from this DSL router, right? So it detects those machines, and my does it have my oh man, I should go ahead and check who are the clients here, because I realize that some clients are not supposed to be in our network. I don't know who the Vikas is. So this must be my neighbor or one of the building dwellers who got IP from my machine. So already I'm hacked. Woohoo! Seriously. Okay. So I'm just gonna go to my machine name actually. So what is the machine name here? Oh, I clicked it too many times. So my machine name is some weird name, desktop 339 TQFP. Desktop 339 TQFP. Did it detect it as a client? Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. So it did detect that because it got an IP from there, so the DSL router has its name as well, right? So select a device or enter IP. I could have entered that IP, but yes, that's the name. So it already detected that. So what I'm saying is allow 33098, 3389 actually. Access. So, but this was just a name. Actually, it has to be correct here. 3389 here. TCP inbound, outbound, or internal, external, and which machine should that traffic should be redirected to. So, well, I click save first of all. Save. The settings were saved. Close. I did not activate that, so I'm just gonna. Hey, where's that? So I'll close it, and I'll just click port forwarding again. What? Really? That setting is gone. I did save it, right? Okay. Okay, I'll come back here again. So advanced tools and settings. Port forwarding. Oh, it's not there. Okay. Anyway, I'll just create that again. 3389 access. And it's TCP. So three-way handshake. 3389 is the port. And 3389 is the port. External port as well. And then again it's the weird name 339 TQFP, and now I'm gonna click create. As soon as it is created, and now I'm gonna click save. Seriously, create and save. Okay, guys. So, so guys, can you try this public IP? So go to your laptop and go to MSTSC in your laptop or desktop. Go to MSTSC in your laptop desktop and type this public IP and connect. Well, I'm inside my network and I'm connecting to my public IP 3389, and I'm trying to connect through my public IP to my virtual machine, which is obviously not working. So can you try with this? This will change, I think, in 3 hours, the public IP. Can you try this? Initiating? You're kidding me. So I should be logged out of this. Oh, okay. If it is initiating, what is the local username password of that? So, oh, it is got an error. Windows PowerShell. Yes, I'll create. I think it is admin. It didn't ask for username password. No. So system 32 net user administrator small MC capital C shape 123 net user administrator small MC capital 123, and I need to actually I need to go to the local users, and I need to actually user profiles settings. Series. Oh, user accounts. Okay, I need to go to user accounts. Oh, I need to enable remote desktop as well. Series. Remote settings. I'm going there. Oh, it was remote desktop was not selected, guys. Select users, add, advanced, find now. So how many local users are there? You know that administrator was disabled. Normally Windows 8 administrator is disabled. I need to enable it, and then administrator with username password is there. Although administrator always have access, I have enabled the desktop. You can try now. Try again. Rejected. Remote access is not enabled. So remote desktop is enabled now, guys. Try again. 3389 user username password, please. Okay. So you're knocking at the door now. Okay, so that's good. This means port forwarding is working perfectly now, and congrats for that. So it is working, and the username password, I think you can use admin and the class password. Rafi, you can try to use admin. I think we did all create the admin and class password. So if you're asking for username password, this means you're already at the doors. And you know, my screen should like be it should log me out if you're inside, right? So username password class password not working. Oh, okay, let me just check that if net user admin is even there or not. Oh, there is no admin account. Hey, where's add remove? Okay, I'll just go for control panel. Check user accounts, and change manage another account. Oh, so it's my first name, Amir, and so just type username as AMIR, and I'll change the password to small ABC capital ABC 0.23 small ABC capital ABC 0.23 and create password. So try again, guys, with the username as AMIR, and the password is oh, I need to add this guy to, maybe you're already, it is administrator, so it should have access already, but if it doesn't, so system and security and maintenance. Your first name Amir. If I'm logged out, this means you're connected, but I need to add Amir. Although Amir should not be added. Amir is a administrator in this machine. That user account is a administrator in this machine, but I just added it as in the remote desktop permission as well. So try again. Your first name, oops, not your first name, actually my name, AMIR, and the password, class password, small ABC capital ABC 3.23. Go ahead, guys. Can you connect? So username is AMIR and class PW. Oh, no authentication due to security certificate. Uh, okay, but yeah, you've gone past the port forwarding. You've gone past the DSL router. It's just that the security certificate is not there, which is we can say that it is okay. It is still port forwarding is good, but this is what we can do there, and try to stay connected, guys. So this is good. You can just configure it like that. I'm gonna go to the security advanced tools and settings here, and I will be now removing this. Thank you for understanding. You know. So but this is how it is configured, right? So save, and that's it. Close. But this is how you configure. I hope you configure it at home as well, and then you will be able to go ahead. So if you can come up to the virtual machine, this means port forwarding is working fine, right? You're logged in. Wow. Okay, that's good. Oh yeah, authentication due to security certificate. You just press yes there. Exactly. And now you're logged in. So refresh. So Rafi, congrats, you're logged in, and that's good. Oh, okay. You could see my desktop, but not anymore because I shut it down. And hey, guys, hackers, that's it. uh, hey, you're hacking into my network. How did you hack into my network? Serious? So, guys, but try again now. I'm just gonna start the machine and try again. Starting the machine and try again. So, but this is how, you know, load balancing, load balancing, port forwarding really works. If you, so you were successfully inside my machine, and that's very good. This is how you can give yourself access to, your machine from outside. So whenever outside you want to connect, this is the way to connect, right? So this is a whole lab for port forwarding that I will separately upload on the channel, my channel, and this is like step by step on what is the purpose of port forwarding, what is the logic of port forwarding, and then so okay. So try to connect now, Rafi.